Growing your business into a money tree. Video 6, Field of Dreams. What a pleasant thought. If you build it, they will come. All you need to do is let people know you are in business and they will flock to pay you money. Well, it doesn't work that way. Whether you open a retail store, build a website, or provide a service from your home, people don't just show up. You need to give them a reason to come. In other words, you need to generate interest. You don't want just anyone to show up. You want those that need your products or services and have the money to buy them. So you have to think about who those people are, where you find them, and how you get them interested. One problem when you first start is that you won't know the answers to all those questions, so you need to experiment. If you are willing to experiment, you are going to discover what works for you, and that is the key to starting your business. Winning new business requires a series of steps that must be taken by prospects. Within those series of steps are two distinct key moments. The first occurs when they have made contact and then make a decision to invest the time to investigate further. The second key moment occurs when they make the decision whether or not to exchange their money for your services or products. Meeting people for the purpose of doing business with them is called prospecting or lead generation. Persuading people to exchange their money for your services or products is called selling or lead conversion. Your education on how to win new business begins with a definitive answer to the following question. Will they come if you build it? The answer to that question is no. They won't come just because you build it. You need to go out and find them. You do so by prospecting for gold. Prospecting for gold in business is similar to what prospectors faced during the gold rush days of California. Those adventurers had a general idea of what they wanted to find, but they went about it in different ways. Some looked for a stream of water where they could just pan for gold. Others went searching under rocks, doing the hard work of digging for it. Some of these individuals followed their own lead and did their own searching. Others waited for someone else to find the gold and then followed. A few got lucky and struck gold right away. Most didn't find it that easy and had to keep trying different methods at various places. A few struck it rich while many had to make other choices in order to make a living. One common aspect during the gold rush days was no one found gold without looking for it. You can't sit back and wait for gold to come to you. You need to go out and find it. There is gold in those hills, and while luck is always a good thing, you will find that it comes your way if you keep getting better at looking for it. We have now reached a fork in the road when you need to decide what methods you are going to use to find gold in those hills. And your answers are going to depend on whether you are building a traditional type business or one based on new technology. When I use the words new technology, I am talking about a business on the internet. I actually don't think the thought process behind what actually works to generate business is that much different between the old and new world. I want to get you thinking the right way, so I'm going to tell you a conversation I have had many times with people new to building a business in the traditional sense. I have taught thousands of people in small business workshops, and many would take my 6-week course on how to start a successful small business. Some students would often meet with me to discuss their business idea, and my first question would always be, how are you going to generate business? You would be surprised how many people actually didn't have an answer. Most had not given it much thought. You see, it is easy to dream about being in your own business, working your own hours, and counting the money you made at the end of each day. It is something else to actually go out and do the work necessary to grow a money tree where earning dollars becomes a repeatable event. So I would ask my students to pretend this was their first day in business. What would they do to generate business? And the answer I would hear quite often would be to place an ad in the newspaper. Please keep in mind that we're talking about the year 2000 when newspapers were still read by a majority of the population. I would ask, so what day of the week would they choose to place an ad? And the answer I would typically hear would be Sunday. I would then ask, what do they think is the most expensive day of the week to advertise? And the answer I would hear would also be Sunday, which happens to be the truth. Okay, so now you are going to advertise on the most expensive day of the week. So what strategy do you think most of the advertisements follow in the Sunday newspaper? Most didn't have an answer, so I would suggest one. How about low prices? Even today, look through a Sunday newspaper and most of the ads follow a strategy of offering low prices. So let me make sure I heard you right. You are going to start your business by advertising on the most expensive day of the week, and your strategy is to offer low prices. That sounds like a tough way to start any business. Is that strategy going to translate into net profit? I sincerely hope it works for you, but most often it doesn't prove successful for new business owners. It takes a solid understanding of the sales process, and unless you have extensive experience, gaining that knowledge takes time. Instead, start your search for new business by spending more time and less money. You will find some gold nuggets staring you in the face if you are willing to look. At the same time, strive to get better at recognizing real gold from fool's gold. When you see the real stuff, learn how to get better at picking it up or digging for more. Keep in mind that others are looking for the easy gold. Many times the areas you are searching have already been picked clean. Therefore, you need to do some digging, and it is difficult to dig with a dull shovel. Sharpen your tools so you can get through the hard rock. Persistence pays off by being smart and by not giving up. If you keep trying, you will get better at prospecting. You can't help it if you practice with a purpose. Only after you have learned to search for gold, can recognize when you have found it, and are able to dig out the stuff near the surface, should you start spending money to excavate further. You would be a fool to dig a hole if you didn't know what was in there or how to get it out. You may get lucky and strike gold, but most of the time you won't. Figure out what you are doing before you spend money. After you have acquired that knowledge, if it is appropriate for your business, go ahead and make the investment. There is one other reason you should not initially spend money on marketing. The ability to generate leads is only the start of the selling process. You need to convert those leads into actual sales. Failing to do this is called burning leads. In other words, generating leads is a waste of time and money if you don't convert them into sales. It takes time and experience for most new small business owners to emotionally understand the steps in making a sale. You can memorize those steps and pass a written exam. That won't do you much good in the real world. Spending lots of money on marketing before you are ready is going to burn through leads since you won't have the ability to close sales. You will waste money and will become discouraged since you expected better results. We are first going to get you out in the real world, meeting people and learning how to deal with them as if you were starting a traditional business. We are then going to discuss starting a business on the internet using the same mindset. Word of mouth is the answer you will hear most often when asking successful business owners their best source of new business. It also costs very little compared to other methods. Why is word of mouth the best way to build a business? It is because the prospect has already been told that you do a good job and are trustworthy. Most likely those exact words were not used to describe you, but the person making the referral implied them all. Let's compare receiving a telephone call from a person referred to you versus someone who responded to a newspaper advertisement. Neither caller has met you. However, referrals feel more comfortable since they know something about you. The caller responding to an advertisement knows virtually nothing about you. Instead of being comfortable, they are likely to be on guard and defensive. People won't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. You still need to work towards getting a referred prospect believing that you do care, but the resistance level is much less compared to those who responded to an advertisement. You should start your business using a word of mouth strategy if at all possible. Not only does it cost very little, but it also most likely matches your experience level in persuading people to do business with you. Let me guess what some of you are thinking right now. It goes something like, that's great advice, but I don't know many people who will spread the word about me. And I know exactly how you feel because when I started my CPA practice in San Jose, California just 7 years ago, the only person I knew who could help me was my sister. Our time is running short, and I need to focus on getting some specific ideas across to you about building a business before the end of this video. There are many ideas in my book about how to skillfully spread the word by developing your personal marketing and sales ability. I teach you what you should say, how you should say it, and whom you should say it to. Once you start your own business, you will consider many ways to market your products or services. You don't even have to create them yourself. Just take a look at your successful competition and borrow their ideas. Don't feel guilty doing so, since they probably borrowed their methods from someone else. The problem is not coming up with ideas. The problem is carrying them out with enough persistence and ability to make them work for you. If there is one idea that I want you to remember after you finish these videos, it is using word of mouth as a strategy to get your business going. Above all else, always remember that the major reason people buy from you is that they like and trust you. It is number 1, 2, and 3 in importance. Don't ever forget that. Why do you think I spent the time, energy, and money writing and filming a 7-part video series to give away for free? It is because I know that for you to do business with me, you have to like and trust me. So this is the investment I chose to make and the strategy I believe in and follow. Let there be no doubt that I practice what I preach. Now let's talk about whether word of mouth is a strategy to use on the internet. In fact, I just answered that by telling you about my strategy to win business from you. So of course I believe it will work on the internet. I also believe that it is very difficult for most of us to start a successful business on the internet by spending a lot of dollars on advertising such as Google AdWords. I am not saying it can't be done. Let's just say it is difficult, and let me explain why. First, to become a successful internet entrepreneur requires creating an effective sales process that functions behind an expanded marketing program. It is not as simple as paying someone to design a website and connecting a shopping cart to it. Spend time following some of the very successful internet entrepreneurs, and you will see that beyond the initial generation of a lead, the entire sales process is based on getting their target to like and trust them. Their word of mouth is spread through consistent messaging by use of autoresponders. It is not quite like spreading the word in a traditional business, but the purpose and theory are the same. They use basic advertising principles to attract a target and then develop trust through the dissemination of useful information. My big objection to the way these internet entrepreneurs do business is that most make their money by selling information on how to make money on the internet. Many sell nothing more than a pyramid scheme. Beware, if it sounds too easy or too good to be true, it probably is. Making money in your own business takes dedication and hard work. If it was easy, more people would be doing it. The reward for building a successful business is that you do become king or queen of your own world. It is nice to be on top. Is it possible for you to take a product or service and develop an internet-based business? I think so, because I have just done it and I am no spring chicken. Find a product or service and figure out how to serve the public. Then work hard to market yourself through social networking by letting people know how you can help them. Before moving on to the last video, I do want to let you know that we are looking for sincere people to help us spread the word about the truth on how to start a successful business. We don't promise miracle cures to what ails you. We do promise an honest opportunity. Please let us know if you are interested in working with us. It is now time to continue your journey on the road to developing the complete small business solution. We are going to round out your education by persuading you to take a success by the numbers approach to building your business. To get in business to stay, it has to be worth your while. Money is not everything, but the financial rewards have to be enough to sustain you in a comfortable life. It will help you achieve your financial goals by learning to take a systematic approach to develop your own skills and repeat what works. Finally, you need to put it all together and deliver what you promised to build a better life for you and your family, using your own business as a base of support, both financially and emotionally. See you soon.